Alright, well, here's what we're going to be doing. With the fact that the packs that dropped today were super packs that basically have all the special cards in them from the rest of the season, and there's only about 3 or 4 days left in the season anyway, I decided we're going to try something different. I'm going to start a new series, and on a couple of the Facebook groups, I put polls up to see what team that people wanted me to use for a Myleague season where I was going to take over an expansion team and then try to, within a couple of seasons, turn it into a championship caliber team. But I'm not allowed to play any of the games. I have to basically pick the right coach, put the right rotation together, and hopefully be able to go with that. So we're going to start this Myleague here, and we're just going to get started today, set it all up, and then we're going to start doing that. Now, as you can see, there's a whole lot of different things here, but we're going to do a Myleague. We're going to do league expansion. Okay, you're not allowed to start in the off season because they haven't got that yet. So, start in regular season now. The different teams that were pre-built that we're going to use, and I decided that we're going to go ahead and fill up all 6 expansion slots so that every division gets a new team, or 3 in each side, west and east, or however you want to do it. But we'll end up maybe having to move teams around depending on who we pick. Pittsburgh is going to be one of the teams that are in there. 2 others that I know for a fact, Virginia, San Diego, and Virginia are 2 more teams that I know are going to be pre-built and used from what we get given to us from 2K. So right there, you already know that San Diego will have to go to the west. Pittsburgh and Virginia will definitely be going to the east. And then I decided that the other team in the east is going to be Kansas City. I'm not a big fan of that necessarily, but it's a lot easier. I thought about taking time to literally create a team, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to download team design. We're going to do Sonics, and we're going to find a good graphic here for them. There's a lot of people that do a lot of different things. I want something that has some of the old school flavor on the uniforms while keeping some of the basic aesthetics that I really like. And I really, that's the, like this right here, this is the kind of old school uniform I'm talking about, with the Sonics there. I kind of like that. I also like where there's another special uniform out there. I like this logo. So I think we're going to go. I think we're going to look at that one. I really like the way that one looks. So we're going to use that one. So I'm going to give credit to that ATM Smoke God 414 because I'm going to be using that design for the Sonics team. And then we're going to go back and we're going to search for Las Vegas as soon as it adds. The thing is, it takes so long for this to add in there. Of these 6 teams, go ahead and pick which one and leave a comment or a like on which team you think I should be using. I've already done polls in 2 or 3 different groups on Facebook and whatnot. Hopefully, with all these teams added, nobody threw out anything crazy or out there. And then we're going to search Vegas. Now, I saw a Vegas team that I really liked the other day. The Vipers was really nice. I like the Pharaohs too. Like this one I like. I don't like the court. I don't like the completely jet black court, but I like the uniforms. Whereas this one, I really like the court and everything, but I don't like the home uniform. It's too much white on white type stuff there. So as much as I like that, I won't use the Aces because that's actually the name of the WNBA team. I don't like the Spartans. That's too much connection to college. Dealers, you draw your own conclusion there. I really do like the Outlaws. I thought that was a really good one. The Outlaws is a good name for a team, and some of the different Outlaws there. I like that. That's a nice design there. That's pretty cool. You've also got this one, the Outlaws that used. I like that logo. The other one that I really like is called the Vipers. Now, I gotta find it. This Outlaws is actually really nice too. I like that one as well. But the Vipers, I really like that one. For some reason, the uniforms are a little bit weaker than normal, but I really, really like the logo. I like the setup of the court. I like that one a lot, and I don't know if there's a better, perhaps this one with a different color scheme, but I don't know if I like that one as much. Vegas Dragons, I like the color scheme of that, but I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the logo there. I don't know, I just don't, this isn't bad. I don't know if I like the orange, but I really do like the logo, and I really like the uniforms there. Here's another one, somewhat similar. So there's a lot of, got a lot of good choices here. And to me, it's either the Outlaws or the Vipers. And I don't know, I like the Vipers just on spec. I just really like that one. So I think we're going to use this one. So credit to Los216. I'm going to be using your Vegas Vipers design as well. So those are going to be the 6 teams that we're going to be adding. We're also going to jump in here, and I'm going to show you kind of what I'm going to do to set things up. One of the things that I learned a long time ago, whenever you do these, is that your setting, your options, is going to be a little bit crazy. Quarter length, I always will just have everything equal. We're not going to do a fantasy draft. As far as the playoff length, that all stays the same. Protected players. I want this to be more of a challenge, so I'm going to allow the teams to protect 10 instead of 8. That means there's less likely to be an 81, 82, 83 out there, but you just never know. Draft class quality, I'm raising that up to 60. And the reason I'm raising that up to 60 is I believe that you're going to need a deeper draft class when you've got an extra 12 picks between the first and second rounds. Contracts, I max this out. The reason I max out the inflation rate and the values and the hard cap and everything is because when you add 6 more teams, that's another 80 players. They're all going to be drawing salaries. And eventually you're going to have some of these guys that develop faster because now they're getting more minutes. And so when you do all that, you end up having to spend more money. So it helps with the cap. Trade logic. There are a lot of restrictions that I hate. I don't think you should, if you want to trade your first round draft picks in consecutive years, if you're dumb enough to do it, you should be allowed to do it. That's fine. There should be financial trade rules. I'm going to do that. If you just signed a rookie after drafting him, you ought to be able to trade him. The same thing with people that you just traded for and had just signed. So those 4 restrictions I'm turning off. But I'm going to keep the deadline. I'm going to keep the financial rules. In other words, they've got to fall within X amount of percentage over the cap. I'm also going to allow the computer to trade with each other and whatnot. Injuries, everything stays the same there. Progression rate, everything stays the same there. Everything stays. I'm doing everything by default. So pro level, the whole 9 yards. Okay, now, which team should I run of these expansion teams? Pittsburgh, no thank you. Kansas City, I thought about. For some reason, I've always just really liked Seattle. And I was really kind of going back and forth between Seattle and the Vipers anyway. but I think we're going to run the Seattle Supersonics. The people that voted, this got about 30% of the vote. It was the highest. Two others got in the low 20s. I mean, there were 6 different teams that got votes. The 6 teams that got votes are the 6 teams that we're using. And so that is going to be the team that we're taking over. Obviously, we're going to have to, figure out everything. But this is where we're going to be. So we're going to hit that and advance. Of course, we're going to just go through all this. And now we're waiting for it to load. So now we are set up. Okay, and this is the way it's going to start. We are going to download a draft class. I took somebody's 2020 draft class, and there it is. Put it on my local server, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about downloading again. But we always add storylines, but there will be the draft class that includes James, Weissman and the Ball Kid and and Anthony Edwards. That's going to be the draft class that we're working towards. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay, so they're going to get to do 10. All right, we don't have players to protect, so boom. Now look at who all got protected, and you're going to see Glenn Robinson III is available. And that's actually a good contract to get somebody that's a 75 for $1.6 million. So, I mean, different teams protected different players. Kyle Korver's available. Matthews is available. There are some teams didn't protect 10 guys. Some did. Dante Exum is available. So, I mean, you're seeing different guys. I think it's interesting that Taco Fall is available, and I'm very tempted about going after Taco Fall and actually making him my starting center. But we'll see what all's out there. Anyway, we're going to jump into this draft now. You got to hit this to advance. And here we go. I don't know what pick we're going to get, but there are 6 teams, and it's usually a snake draft where you reverse the order for round 2. So let's see what kind of draft we can get. And once we get done with the draft, then that'll be the end of the first episode. And then the second episode, which I'll film probably in the next couple of days, because I've got a little more time since I've already completed the 40 levels on my team, is we'll probably go through and set our rotation and get everything set for the team as far as that is concerned. So let's do the draft really fast here. We get the number 1 pick. So Michael Porter Jr., surprisingly, is left uncovered. Other guys that are left uncovered: Mike Conley, Paul Millsap, Rudy Gay, Otto Porter, Jeff Teague, Cody Zeller. Okay, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony. These guys are big-time players that have been left. Patrick Mills, Mark Gasol, Iguodala, Biyombo. A lot of great guys that we could get. I really do like Porter Jr., and he does have that option, that extra option here, which carries over, which means I'm not going to have to worry about paying $30 million like if you took Mike Conley. Conley may be a great point guard to start with. However, you're also stuck having to pay $34 million that first year, and then trying to re-sign him if he'll resign. So we're going to take Michael Porter Jr. with that first pick. And here we go. Dwight Howard goes second, then Malik Beasley. Carmelo Anthony goes to Las Vegas. That seems to fit. Kansas City took Cody Zeller. Pittsburgh gets back-to-back picks, and they take Rudy Gay and Otto Porter. Wow. The Vipers end up with Carmelo Anthony and Mike Conley. Okay, so now we're going to get 2 picks back-to-back. Okay? Now, we've already got our small forward. So, do we go right after Patrick Mills and take a $13 million 32-year-old? Let's look at the positions. Here's who's left open right now, and you've got some guys that you can take. I like Corey Joseph for what he is. Quinn Cook isn't bad for what he is. Look at the shooting guards: Langston Galloway, Garrett Temple, Iguodala, there's just not a lot. I mean, Etwan Moore is a shooter. I can't stand Grayson Allen. I won't take him even if he's a bargain. So you got some there. You've already taken your small forward, all right? But yet you've got Glenn Robinson III, who would be a great backup small forward, or you could even start him at the shooting guard. So, this is definitely something that we could look at here. Myers Leonard, Marvin Williams, Patrick Patterson, all available in power forward. And then, of course, you've got a solid center group: Gibson, Gasol, Olenek, Biyombo, Marinovic. You could really find you some good players here. I tend to want to slide toward being somewhat economical this first year, because then I could maybe go out and try to entice somebody with a big contract for year 2, as well as the rookies that we'll get. So I am more likely going to come back and pick up, see what we got here in this. I like Yogi Ferrell. Now, I'm an Indiana guy, so that's one of the reasons why. I think it's a little early to take Yogi Ferrell, but he's the point guard that I'm probably going to go after. As far as the shooting guards, I think, to me, finding someone who has some skill, but also can play defense, and I think when you look at that, you've really got to look at Iguodala. And I think Iguodala would bring a veteran presence as well. So I'm going to take Iguodala, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to look at some of the centers, and I'm going to look at the power forwards and see what all is there. You got a lot of good ideas here. I mean, Patrick Patterson, Taurean Prince. I don't know. I mean, you look at the multiple years, that's not bad. I think I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna pick up Glenn Robinson. He's a solid rating. He's got a pretty good salary. I know that gives us 2 small forwards and a shooting guard on the team right now. But I didn't want to pay big money for guys like Patrick Mills or some of those guys. So we're going to see what we get when we come back around to us for back-to-back picks again. But you can see some of these guys are going down. All right, here we go. See, we still have these centers available. Part of the reason they're available is the money they cost. I've always liked Taj Gibson. I may still go for him. I mean, we're going to see. But I'm not 100% sold just yet. Here we go. These 2 picks here. I think I'm going to go economical again. And we are going to get Marvin Williams to do power forward and center. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a flyer on Taj Gibson. I like the idea of having a solid veteran presence at the center position. He's less than $10 million for the year. So it's not, and we've gone economical. We're going to come back, and my 7th round pick, I guess 6th and 7th round pick, my goal, my hope, is that my 7th round pick, I can just go ahead and pick up Yogi Ferrell. All right, so here we got this. Now, we're going to need to get somebody to, let's see, can we see what we've got already? No, we can't. Okay, let's see, player pool. My drafted players. So as you can see, we've taken 2 small forwards, a shooting guard, a power forward, and a center. We have yet to take a point guard. Okay? So the point guards that we've got left right now, there's not a lot of terrible options. But I've already told you that I'm going for Yogi Ferrell in round 7. So round 6, let's try to find a solid shooting guard or power forward that we can go for. Patrick Patterson, Jermichael Green. I'm going to go with Patrick Patterson. And the reason I'm going with Patrick Patterson for this one is another veteran guy, 31. He only cost $1.6 million. I might be able to re-sign him because he's going to get more minutes for this team than he did with the Clippers. So we're going to go with him. And then, of course, we're going to come back and pick up Yogi Ferrell as our first true point guard that we picked. So we fill a power forward and a point guard. And now we see some others, Grayson Allen, Deion Waiters, Langston Galloway, Dylan White. We're seeing these guys come off now. Pittsburgh takes a couple of guys. Musa's now going to the Knights. Biombo to the Vipers. That's going to be interesting with Carmelo and them. Now we get 2 more picks. Now we get to be interesting in what we're going to do here. Because I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. I need to find a straight shooting guard. Well, I got Iguodala. Technically, I could run Glenn Robinson as a backup to both Iggy and Porter. So, I don't necessarily need another shooting guard, but you want to try to have 3 of each position so that you're good to go there. I've got Taj as my starter. I think one of the positions that I'm going to take, he's just kind of a guilty pleasure for everybody. And he's really good as far as rating wise for this. So I'm going to go ahead and take Boban to be my backup center. Now, point guards. We've got a lot of possible choices here. I've always liked Frank Mason III. I've always thought that he was so good in college, and he's kind of been stuck. I think if he got the opportunity to be a solid backup, that might be something that we could do here. I also like Dellavedova. I think, but I don't like the money for him. Kai Bowman is another one that I think is solid, and he's got 2 years on his contract, which to me probably makes him a good pick. 2 years at $1.5 million each year. To me, that sets me up with a much more contract-friendly team for the next year as well. All right, let's see where we go here now. I wish you could speed this up a little. Okay, so far we've got 2 small forwards, 2 point guards, we got 2 centers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 2 picks here, and we probably need to take a couple of shooting guards. Now, we need to find some guys that are going to be solid, but not going to explode. Here's one that I like. In fact, I like this guy just partially because I was always a big fan of his father. But when you add the fact that I'm running Seattle, bringing Gary Payton II in as a shooting guard is a smart move, I think, from a ticket sales point of view. And then we need to just try to find some more solid players to come off the bench. Point guards down here. I like Kyle Guy. I'm going to go ahead and get. I'm thinking about taking Frank Mason III, but Williams Goss has that 2-year contract that makes it more friendly down the road. But I think we're going to go with Williams Goss. As much as I like some of the other situations that were there, him having 2 years on his contract, again, gives me a spot that's taken by somebody that could improve. And no, I'm not trying to build a team that'll tank to get the number 1 pick next year. But I am, that's the one I was trying to hold on to get was Taco Fall, which, what can you do there? Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Point guards I've got. I need a shooting guard. I need a small forward. Okay, so shooting guards. Shooting guards. You know what? I'm gonna go with Reggie Bullock. He's not that expensive, and I think he's a good choice. Another guy, look how cheap this guy is. Kyle Korver. Yes, he's old, but the dude can flat shoot. He can flat shoot from mid-range and the 3-point range. He'll be coming off the bench, and I think he would be a perfect guy to come in right when we need somebody to make those big shots. So I finished my shooting guards. I finished my small forwards. I think I'm going to need a power forward and a center with my last 2 picks. So here we go. We're seeing Stanley Johnson get taken. Damari Carroll. I might have gone for Carroll. I might have gone for him. Let's see. Joakim Noah. Dwayne Dedman. I like Dedman, but I don't like that contract. Man. Mo Harkless. I just don't like the contract, though. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Jermichael Green. And I think that's it. So that's all we get there. And we now have our team. Just in case you were curious, let's load them up here. You've got Yogi, Kai Bowman, and Nigel Williams-Goss as our point guards. Iguodala, Payton, and Bullock at shooting guard. Porter, Robinson, and Korver as our small forwards. Williams, Patterson, and Green at power forward. And Taj Gibson and good old Boban as our 2 main centers. And I think it's going to give us a fairly decent team. But we're going to come back and we're gonna look at what we can do there. Staff-wise, we've hired staff. I'm not sure any of this is going to stick. We will, in our next video, we're going to evaluate the staff, and we are going to see what we can possibly do there. So that is our first video for this. We are excited, and we look forward to seeing what's going to happen when we begin the season. So leave a like, subscribe, and we'll be ready for the next video coming here in a couple of days when we begin the season and get everything took out. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you when we see you.